Hello, church. Welcome to another devotional. Today I wanted to read from Colossians chapter 3, just two verses, 12 and 13. So as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other. Whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so also should you. You know, this idea in Christianity exists of putting to death the old ways, the ways that we have lived in the past, the way that we acted, the way that we conducted ourselves with friends and the world as a whole. And the term that we often associate with that dying to the world, dying to our old way, is called mortification. It's the putting to death of the old way, of the old man, and bringing about the new man as a result. And it's not simply a hiding. It's not simply putting the toys in the closet when the guests arrive so that they don't see the mess that's in your house. But it is the ripping out, it is the removal. As you would go through a garden, you mortify, if you will, the weeds that are in the garden. You pluck them out, you take them, you destroy them, you burn them, you throw them away. We're not hiding them so that we can take them out later. We're putting them to death and getting rid of them permanently. So when it talks about in Colossians that we're supposed to have these words, have these traits, oftentimes we don't have the words to describe it. And I want to introduce you to a new word. It's called vivification, the opposite of mortification. If mortification is to put things to death, vivification is to bring things to life. And here is exactly what it's talking about. Bring to life compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. So we put one thing to death and we bring about in its place something else. You see, no empty plot of land, no empty heart, no empty life. It remains empty for much longer after it's been cleaned out. And you notice that from your own life, don't you? Whenever you remove an old habit, you generally want to replace it with a different habit, hopefully a positive one. When you remove some item from the countertop, oftentimes in a few weeks' time, maybe in a few days' time, or even a few hours' time, it gets replaced with something else and the clutter is there again, and you again have to clean it off. There is no empty space even in my house, on my desk, that remains empty for very long. There is always something to put there. The question is, what do you put in place of the weeds, of the sins, of the old ways that you've plucked out? You know, we talk a lot about putting to death, mortifying our old ways, our old sins. But we don't talk often enough about vivification, bringing them to life. And you see, when we bring those things to life, we bring in ourselves an awakening of a Christ-like behavior. We're chosen by God to be holy and to be beloved. And the thing that we were given by God, we're to give back to others. You see, kindness is a Christ-like attitude towards others. The things that are described, the compassion, the humility, the gentleness, it is a Christ-like attitude towards others. Humility is a Christ-like attitude towards ourselves. But all of those things that we bring into our life, they can bring life to us. They don't just occupy a space, but like a plant growing, they continue to produce more life. Death produces death and life produces life. As you go this week, bring up, vivify, bring back to life the traits that Colossians encourages us to have so that we might be more Christ-like in our walk. Amen.